All right, guys, welcome back to the IRONBROS podcast post Olympia.
Yep. Episode, what number? 12?
12, I believe, right?
Yeah. I believe it does it now, yeah.
So yeah, let's just kind of jump into it. So post show, you guys were at the Olympia live and in color. So not sure how pictures differentiate a little bit. There's good quality these days, but ultimately you're at the show. So your thoughts?
I thought the Olympia itself, the show was awesome. Placings, it seems like deserved. We can get into that a little bit, but just like a brief, quick answer would be it was awesome, right? Really cool. I got better seats, like I mentioned in the last episode.
Yeah.
So those seats were well worth it. Definitely when I go to the next Olympia next year or whenever I go again, I will buy those seats again because
And that was a VIP silver?
yeah, because when you sit close and you actually get to see it, like you know when you're in the stadium and you see the screen, the LED screen, it's just kind of sucky. You don't just watch the actual person.
So you were that close. I couldn't tell by pictures, but like
I was that close. I did notice at times when it wasn't my favorite competitor. I would just be watching the screen, but I was like, shit, I want to watch it in person because this is actually happening right here.
Right.
You know,
That's cool.
so like it wasn't the closest where I was 100% staring, but I go back and forth. So it was good.
Okay.
It was good.
And you were there. Were you in the nosebleeds, or did you happen to find your way down?
I was in the nosebleeds for most of it, but when certain competitors, like, here's the thing, like, it wasn't like Vegas where they do tier theater seatings. It was all flat ground. So you really needed to watch those, like the Megatrons, the LEDs. But luckily, my friend Zach, he had an extra, like, 3 seats in section 9, which was actually close to yours. It was, like, right around the bend.
Mm-hmm.
So there were people coming and going a lot because he was working for Raw, so he was taking photos of like Chris. He was taking photos of, I think, the only other athlete was Charles at the Olympia. But so I got to like kind of scatter, go there, and unfortunately left Shayna in the nosebleeds for like 5 minutes at a time. But it was okay. I really just wanted to see the classic guys when they came up, like nice up and close. But it's a difference, man. Like where we were versus where like Ant was. It doesn't seem that far, like if they took out all the chairs, but like once you have like those layers of heads in front of you, it starts to just like get annoying. So, but I mean, still great. The light show was dope.
And I guess what was your biggest surprise of the weekend?
Seeing Greg Doucette, which I was about to talk about.
That was your biggest surprise.
Well, if you want to talk about placing, which is a placing, but this is on the topic of seats.
Mm-hmm.
So where I sat in the VIP, the first night, my row had like no one. And it was a supposedly sold out show. The second night too, no one was sitting there. And I saw Greg walk in, and he was trying to get like some free seats because he got shitty tickets. And he actually sat like 2 rows in front of me. So that was funny. But biggest surprise, I mean, there's a couple, I feel like. A surprise that was good and not like unexpected, but like a happy surprise would be Keon winning. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of work in since, I mean, forever. But his placings used to not be so hot. Last year, I think he got like 6, somewhere around there. And then he got first this year, so that was an awesome surprise to see. And then who else? I guess another surprise is Hottie getting second, Derek winning, and then Hottie walking off stage. A little crazy.
Who'd you say was going to win?
I said Hottie, so you won. You won. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I don't need the handshake because I knew that we were going to win here. But
what was your top 5 placings? You even remember?
It was Derek, Hottie, Samson. No, sorry. I had Hottie sliding down, remember?
Oh, third?
Yeah.
That was off.
So Samson was second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember 4 and 5, to be honest. I have to go back and check. I don't
Curry?
know.
I think you had Curry in there and probably Jacked.
Yes. So who am I? I had the top 5.
Yep,
They're just in different order.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Like, I guess Derek versus Hottie, him beating Hottie, like, because usually in terms of like when they crown a new winner, doesn't as long the winner improves or at least brings a better package than last year, they tend to give it to them again. So it's just like when you see Hottie in person, like when I saw him, even from the freaking nosebleeds, I could tell he was sharper than Derek.
I would say so. I mean, if you consider.
So is it really just the
pose
flow?
to pose? I mean, Derek won. I think on the scorecard, he won both nights. It wasn't like he lost one night, won another night. But you look at Derek's physique versus Hottie. They're two different bodybuilders, right?
Yes.
One is definitely a little bit more blocky, I guess. One is more aesthetically pleasing. conditioning, Hadi gets the card, but if you look pose to pose, like in the back double, for example, Hadi's leaner. However, where it's apparent, right? Like, I don't think you take Hadi from last year versus this year. Like, did he improve? I don't know if he really improved or he just showed up kind of the same.
I disagree.
Think he regressed in the backside for sure. I mean, if you look at pictures from last year to this year, he definitely regressed a little bit. And Derek definitely won those back poses. So I don't, people always say, oh, back win shows. Yeah. To a degree, you got to win some other poses too. Obviously, Derek won enough poses to win. But
don't get me wrong, Derek looked phenomenal as well.
No, for sure. I think his look is better.
Yeah.
And then again, I don't care what anyone tries to deny. At some point, there's a political pull somewhere in there to where it's like, hey, what is this person going to do versus this other person in terms of as an ambassador for bodybuilding, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they can find a Chris for open, what does that look like?
So now, do you think with Derek Lunsford winning, obviously, like we already talked about, they're two different bodybuilders.
Yeah.
One's blocky, one's just massed out, conditioned. The other one is still aesthetically pleasing, still brings good conditioning, still has great size. But now, do you think because of him winning, it's going to kind of steer the direction of open, at least, into a more aesthetic nature? Because before this, it was freaks. Yes, Phil Heath was still aesthetically pleasing, but at the end of the day, like, he still had, I guess, like that same like straight down midsection. There was no taper.
I mean, I would say Heath was pretty aesthetic, right?
Yes,
for sure. Roden was aesthetic for the year he won.
Yeah.
But typically Rami, he's not. I don't think Rami, and I think aesthetics. I think Rami, like mass monster, right? So I just think Derek, with the direction I think they're going in, that plays a big role, right? I think Chris wins every year, not because he's the most muscled guy on stage, but because it looks the best.
Yes.
And that's what classic bodybuilding is, right? So I think with Derek winning, that definitely sets a precedent. But I don't discount or think that a guy like Nick can't compete with it. What they choose to do, I think, again, just matter if Derek continues to get better, if Keon continues to get better.
Yeah.
Because we can look at 212 and say the same thing. Like, I thought Clarita would win because he always shows up a little bit better. I don't think he didn't get better.
Yeah.
I have my own comments in terms of his physique, how it looks, but I just think Keon is way more appealing.
Yeah.
And it was the first year he really nailed it. So, I mean, who's to say if he nailed it last year, would he have won? I don't think so because Keon put on a little bit more muscle. But I don't see, once that happens, like, I don't see Sean ever being able to beat Keon if Keon improves a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if Derek comes in off, if Sean comes in phenomenal and Keon's off, sure, I guess you can flip-flop again.
Yeah.
But ultimately, as you kind of touched on, usually you don't see the winner get knocked off. But again, I don't think there are substantial improvements made that Derek didn't make up for.
Yeah.
This is Derek's second year in open, right? Which is pretty crazy to think about.
He was 1-2-1. First in 212.
Yep.
Second in open. First in
year.
open.
So
like he's a freak
for sure. So I think it's definitely a little tough. But
so now, do you think for the bodybuilders that are currently in the top 12, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them are kind of blocky in terms of their midsection, but Nick brought it down. Like, I'll throw up a photo because I know the one I'm thinking of. It was his post chest and biceps after his workout. Like, if you look at that Nick right there versus the Nick that first, like, I guess went viral on the scene, like, people were making comments about, like, oh, his gut's way too big, like, he's got to pull it in. He's pulled it in a fuck ton. Like, he has a night and day difference.
He's really taken his physique, and I think done a lot with it compared to the Nick that turned pro versus where he is now.
Yeah.
Last year they looked at him, hey, Nick, what do you need to improve? His quad sweep. It appears that he did that. Yes, we didn't see it on stage, but we saw it pretty much a couple days out of what the finished product would look like. So, like I said, it sucks. I wish I could have saw him up there because I think it would have been really interesting to see him next to Derek because I think he could have took Hadi for sure, based on especially how it appeared.
Yeah.
Conditioning-wise, Hadi, again, is next level. But you go to the back, and what catches the eye more isn't how he looks sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What do you...
Dude, I've been trying to find photos when we were talking about a couple topics
with Hadi
before with Hadi versus Derek.
Stuff. I remember after prejudging, I said to you, I was like, I think like from the front, I think Hadi.
I agree. Yeah,
looked better.
But these photos here, which we'll throw up on screen, actually not do it this time. We got you guys. We hear you. The conditioning from the front was just insane by Hadi, right? It's like night and day. Hadi obviously takes conditioning.
Yeah, no, from the front, I think
Hottie, right?
At least in those certain shots, yeah. But I
I need to get deeper with this too. So we mentioned how Hottie improved, and if I could find this as well, it'd be great to show you.
Yeah.
He improved a lot.
yeah, but
And
look
I
at
was-
his backside, his back.
I mean, bro,
That's
it's
where
like,
bodybuilders always digress, and that's when they fold, they hang it up because your lower back, you start to notice issues. And at least the pictures I've seen, again, pictures are just a snapshot,
Yeah.
millisecond
Yeah.
at a time. So could be the way it was taken.
I mean, I'll be
But
honest. We
it
talk
looked
about
a little
politics,
off.
right? I think they're like it's very interesting. We look at the scorecard. That it's almost picture perfect. They all judges agreed on like everyone get the same placing. If you look down the line, it's almost seamlessly perfect.
Yeah, I think
That never
sometimes,
happens at any normal regional, national show.
You think it's fixed? You think they know who's winning going in?
I mean, can I show you the scorecard itself?
I haven't seen it. I mean, so you could show it also for the viewers to see.
Yeah, it's like it's very interesting. Just completely like it goes. I think it's 5 judges, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 5, 10, 15, 20.
Yeah, because they dropped the highest score, lowest score.
Yeah. Scorecard, Olympia.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
I was looking into that the other day.
Highest and lowest.
And then I also saw. What else did I see? I don't know. I just feel bad for Hottie. I truly do. And you're talking about Hottie and Derek, right? The better representative for the sport, like Chris.
Yeah.
Look at the power Hottie has in Iran,
No,
which is like a country they never hit before. I'm sure, right? Or
but it's
as
just
much as
like
they
also
have.
it's like all right, who's Hadi partnered with? What is he
Yeah.
pulling in for the?
For the
I
sport.
mean, he didn't come. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't at North Americans, which is always like pretty important to have all the guest posers there. You
Yeah,
know?
he wasn't.
Derek is guest posing this weekend. You know,
At
Easterns.
Easterns.
Yeah.
Yo, we going to that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'll have to see.
So, yeah, I mean, it definitely plays a role. It's a business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So, now don't get me wrong. Again, you're not going to win because you don't look the part. Derek looks the part,
Yes.
right?
100%.
I mean, he was in everybody's top 2 going in. It wasn't like he was like out of the top 5, dark horse.
Okay, you know what? I scratched the scorecard thing. Maybe I think it was Classic Physique I was looking at. Because
That
this
was, like,
one
perfect.
we'll put on the screen for you guys. Yeah, it's different. It's actually like pretty legit looking. Like,
Shit.
yeah, it's not all the same numbers. If I could find that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, like I said, I think Derek sets a new standard. You know.
He's a very all-American guy. That's something about his personality. Do you know what I mean? Do you know like an all-American person where they seem like a great dad, football, cut the grass on a lawnmower.
That's how you take Derek.
That's how I take Derek based off his YouTube videos, based off his personality.
based on what he puts out.
It might
Right.
just be who he is, but yeah. Like when he won, like his reaction, yes! Like it was
Yeah.
just very like American.
No, like I said, it paints. If you have that reaction to seeing that, what do you think everyone else has, right? Versus then you see Hadi. Unfortunately, emotions probably got the best of him.
Yeah.
He was a little upset. He walked off stage, right? What people don't show, they don't show him congratulate. As soon as Derek wins, and Derek is doing those animations that Anthony just did, Hadi was applauding him. Hadi came up to him, looked like he whispered something in his ear.
Yeah.
Who knows what? Maybe he said "F off," right? But he congratulated him, took the picture, smiled, waved, walked off. They tried to get him back on. He wasn't having it. And then backstage, I know he was upset, right? But I think I don't think it's surprising because just consider you're the winner going in, right? You have every intention of winning, and you get second.
Oh, for sure.
Of course, there's gonna be emotions. I don't expect you to stand there and be like, "Oh, I did good." It's
Yeah.
$400,000 at the end of the day, right? So now factor in the money, factor in you have a whole country behind you.
Yeah.
Merek's from America. Right?
Me-
I mean, it was a little different than Iran.
Me and Graham were talking about that too, because like I didn't know much about it. It was either you said it or Ali said it. Of like, I don't know if this is a stretch, but the Iranian people go crazy if you like lose after you win.
I think Hadi posted something. I'm sorry I let you all down, basically.
Yeah.
Like I'm a failure or whatever. And like, on one hand, like, oh, you're mature, but on the other hand, like, he's like a god in his
Yeah.
culture, and he just lost. And usually, like most things, when you lose, you don't come back and win. What happened to Rami?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't compete this year, and if he competes next year, I don't see him in the top 4.
No.
Right? So he had his reign, and he's over. So I think deep down, Hadi looks at it. Also, hey, Derek's 30 years old. Hadi's 36, turning 37.
Jesus.
So it's like, this kid just beat me. This is his second year here. Where his frame versus my frame, how can I really get better? I brought the conditioning, which I thought would have gave me the nod. It didn't. He's only going to get better. What the fuck can I possibly do to get better? And the answer's like a Sean situation. Sean looked great. He won twice looking great. I don't think he lost because he didn't look good, but it's just like, hey, they went for a different look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you have showed me here.
It's the classic physique scorecard. It's like pretty seamless. Like go down the ranks of like. I'm not saying it's like a sketchy scorecard. I guess I don't know. A sketchy maybe.
Well, I don't think they're showing each of the ones. I see 51, for example, 10th place.
Mm-hmm. It's just like it's interesting how like all judges like all agreed on the placings.
Yeah.
Right. That seems kind of hard to do.
So it's just like, I never understood, because like, again, I guess it's just there's new physiques coming up and the judges are more like, they like those better. But for example, like Rough Diesel, Terrence, I absolutely love his physique.
Okay.
I think it's very classic, the flow of it, the symmetry of it, just
Yeah.
the overall look. I think that, and just the muscle maturity and density, comparing him to, let's say, like, who's in the top 3? Like, what are key factors that makes Ramon's physique more classic or a better fit for it than Terrence's? Is it simply the height?
What
and
I'll
muscle
say is I
mass?
think it's eye-catching. For example, Ramon's more eye-catching than Terrence.
Yeah.
And then let's like compare like Terrence, who was 5th, and Breon, who was 4th, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both shorter guys.
Yeah.
Breon pops more than Terrence. He just has more. He has a shit ton of density. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of muscles on muscles for his physique. And it's crazy because I honestly had, what's his name, Breon ahead of Urs.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I don't know if politics come into role because obviously Urs has a lot of hype behind him or what it was. But being in person, me and Kyle were texting back and forth, and I gave you my predictions. And like it was clear night and day. Chris was first, Ramon was second. Third, it was like last year was Urs. So I had a feeling they were going to go for that again. But Urs was just like his midsection when he wasn't flexing, like when he wasn't doing like a ab flex, like
Yeah.
whatever it was,
Mhm.
ab and
Ab
thigh.
and
His like abs were soft for sure. And I thought Breon, like I think they overlooked Breon. I do. I think like he just got pushed back. They just stopped caring about him. And for him to make the weight that he did, because they raised it for him, or in general to all competitors,
Right.
But they raised it, and he looks killer. He popped, but he got 4th.
Yeah.
I thought he was hard. He was conditioned. His physique flowed.
Yeah.
Posing was great. And that's why I just think like Urs has that popularity. Overall, if it was like just a normal show, we knew nothing about their names, I thought Breon would have placed higher than Urs.
And it's potential, right? It'd forever be that mystery, at least for the viewers and us. I'm sure maybe the.
What'd you say before that? I'm sorry. I actually didn't hear you.
What I'm saying is, I mean, that whole
Yeah.
thought process, it might be valid, but we'll never know. It'll
No.
forever be a mystery.
Yeah. No, I know. It's
So yeah, I
interesting.
thought those are interesting. And then men's physique, I didn't
yeah.
like anticipate anyone going in really saying Ryan Terry would win.
No.
It wasn't really a name I heard anyone predict.
That was crazy.
Not because he's not good. He's been around for a long time. He's been really putting the effort in, and
Yeah.
obviously looked the part, and he did great.
Everyone was hyped when he won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
Think
gave
about
him
that,
the
though.
love.
Aaron Banks won last year, and he got dropped down to 3rd.
Yeah, and then he just lost it last week, and the guy got
Legion
7th that
Sports
beat
did.
him. So
Yeah.
I've seen
rightfully so. I mean, he didn't look the same as he did a couple weeks ago, but
Listen, a lot of people too don't seem to like Aaron. When you go through comment sections, they just complain about his cockiness.
and
So-
why, right? I think that's the what he puts out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just how you hold
If
yourself.
you don't
right?
interact with your fans, if you don't are not showing up at these guest posing, I'm sure after he won that first Olympia versus how many does he have? Just the one. I mean,
he won one
wins
Olympia.
too. But I guess after all those pro wins that he has, he's not the same person as he was, the hungry kid growing up. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So. who knows?
But no, it's really cool seeing Ryan win. He's been at it. He mentioned in his speech he got every single placing from 8th down to 1st before, so he worked his way up. I actually got to see Ryan right before he went on stage for finals.
That's cool.
He was where I was sitting. He was like just standing to the left of me, just observing the stage and talking with his videographer. I went over to him. He recognized me, shook hands, wished him luck. And he did the thing. He won, so that was awesome to see.
No, that's awesome.
It was cool because I was talking about it actually with Marina here in the gym the other day, and we were talking about Ryan Terry and Brandon, and how no one thought Ryan was going to win, right? And for example, Brandon's physique is definitely, I would say, bigger, sharper, but it's not as it's not like the look. It's the look for sure. It's just hard to I can't put my finger on it. The way I described it was Brandon to me is a diamond. You know, like that perfect diamond where like it's has the hard edges. It's indestructible. Looks super hard. The cuts. Ryan is super pretty to look at. He might not be like perfect all around, but he's got this like nice look to him.
And I think also, especially men's physique, transitions, posing, overall stage presence, I think that plays a role. At least people catch on to that. If you walk out and you're not confident, you know.
I mean, my favorite thing that Ryan Terry did was when he said he fixed his posing. His back pose, what he did, and I admire this as like a men's physique competitor, was he went to his back pose. He hit it originally in like one pose for like 2 seconds maybe. And then he would lean forward a little bit, and like his traps would engage more, and then he'd look better, and then hold that for another 2 seconds, and then turn to the front. It was just really cool to see like kind of 2 poses in the back, but like correcting it while he did it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now, I mean, I don't know. It's also like you think the judges are going to have Ryan, especially in their mind, a lot heavier because he stayed and trained at Bev's for a whole like week and a half, getting like criticism and critiques from Steve like every day leading up to the show. So
Sorry, you're asking, do I think that played a role?
yes.
At the end of the day, you got to show up a certain way, right?
For sure.
So I
mean,
think
with your
it was a look at maybe what they're going to. Criteria can change a little bit. So usually, at least how it has always been, is those winners are what those divisions should emulate going down, right down the ranks. So from regionals to juniors, local shows, things like that. So I guess that's the new standard of what they're looking for.
But also, like, when you go see Steve, like, I don't know what it's like at Ryan's level, but it's not like he's gonna be like, yeah, hit that pose, like that's the winner right there. He's a man of few words. He's like,
he also says like this is what I like, right? Like when you do a side chest as an open guy, he really likes dropping that front shoulder.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at other guys, sometimes their shoulders are leveled.
Yeah,
So-
he's a man of few words. Just be like, come in tighter, come in sharp, just like that. Hold that look. That's it.
Yeah. So I don't how much that plays a role. Like I don't think they go. I don't think they're on the panel saying,
Yeah.
right, you know, I think they know who's doing the show. They see social media, so they obviously know who's going to be showing up. I'm sure they were aware of controversy going on, but I think they have an idea going in. Hey, these are probably like the
Top
favorites.
guys, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you fall apart on stage, you start cramping. Like they don't. Oh, let's postpone the show until he's ready again. It's like, all right, next man up. You know. So
How was your weekend, Kyle? What'd you do? We were at the Olympia. What'd you do?
I had drove a lot. I had a wedding on Saturday. I had a show for Isaiah on Saturday. The show itself was awful, honestly.
What show
Was
was
the
it?
same show you did 2 years ago?
Yeah. It's just digresses in terms of like the caliber of talent there. Usually you see a few guys that are,
Decent.
you know, that I think are really good, but I didn't see anyone that was like, hey, national level, right? So Isaiah himself, he did okay.
Okay.
Was there
How'd he
something
do?
comical?
There is. I'm gonna type it down because it can't be shared on the internet.
Okay, no problem.
So wait, what show is that? Oh.
Talent.
Yeah, well, he was awful. But yeah, for this East Coast, this year of East Coast, I just thought the caliber of talent was just down.
Was it a bigger show being that it was the same weekend as the Olympia or no?
No, it wasn't any. It was probably less people I've ever seen.
Okay.
Like there was in the open bodybuilding, man, had to be under 15 people. For sure. Like there was one super, 2 heavies, and then Isaiah did men's physique, so that's where like I didn't really see too much open. I saw it like briefly, but I didn't. Again, when I look up, no one's like decent. Like all right, so typical local show. But Isaiah did better than he did last time. I think his overall placings, he got second and third in the 2 divisions he did.
What were the 2 divisions? Like novice?
He did
and
like a
open?
novice and an open, yeah. And then overall, you know, as I took him right away, even before he went to stage, before this weekend came up, and then assessing it after, like I always try to do with somebody, I was like, look how you looked last time you did a show versus this time. Consider all the effort you put in between, of which was virtually none except prep, and you looked immensely better. Like from the front, he held his own. When he turned to the back, Isaiah needs muscle in his back. So if he makes those improvements, I think he can do well, you know. So there's definitely no ceiling on it, but it requires a different
Approach.
outlook and approach. Like that's why I always tell people, you can't just do show after show and expect a different outcome, right?
Yeah.
It only eventually you start to realize like, okay, like I have to go back to the drawing board because what I'm doing isn't producing the results I want.
Yeah.
But conditioning wise, like I said, he was one of the more conditioned guys, and he beat his look last year. So overall, I look at it as a win. Might not be first place, but control that. You control how you show up, right? So
Hey man, kudos to him, especially having to go through what he went through and
Yeah, I
decided
think
to
he was
still
able to do the
finish
show.
out prep. Like,
that's the one thing. His parents were there, super nice people. His whole family was nice. He had like nice little cheering section, I guess you could call it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they also mentioned like they were a little unsure if it was the safest thing to do after that episode with you there. So they were happy that you were there, to save their son potentially, right? But he was able to overcome that crazy obstacle and got to stage. So that was good. Different approach than what I'm used to doing with people, but it is what it is. It works.
How did the overall winner look at the show?
be nice, Cal.
It looked great.
Great.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it is what it
Whoever
is.
that is, if you do watch this, good job, man. But
Yeah. I just something like super national level guys,
yeah.
Yep.
At least given the age. The Masters, again, I'm considering Masters versus like 20-year-olds.
Kids,
Yeah.
essentially.
So,
I mean,
Isaiah got second and third.
yeah. So
How was his posing? That's something we worked on hard. I'm just curious.
from the front, I thought his pose in the front, I like it. From the back, I guess, again, it's hard because
It's
I
hard
look
to
at it
put-
like there's not enough muscle there
Yeah,
to know if
to
you're
really
hitting it right.
yeah.
Could it have been better? I think anyone posing they can flow better. You can nitpick.
Yeah.
But compared to where he started, improved a lot. Which again, that's all you can do is if you improve across the board year to year, then at least you could check those boxes off.
No,
But,
I mentioned
yeah.
this on my Instagram story, but not on YouTube yet. I had food poisoning.
Over the weekend, right? And
Yeah.
You encountered that the first day you got there.
I did. Kind of sucked. Super random. We left for Orlando on Thursday. Prepared my meals. Didn't want to miss a meal. I cooked chicken that morning, and I think the issue was the chicken, and here's why. So I cooked that chicken. I air fried it. I guess I was kind of lazy because it was kind of slimy, and usually there's like a little bit of slime. It's fine, but for some reason I didn't wash it this time. Just put it in the air
You usually
fryer.
wash the chicken?
My mom used to do that.
Oh, okay.
So like when I lived with my mom, like 100% did. When I lived on my own, like kind of didn't. But anyways, went on the plane. Wasn't really feeling much of an appetite. I didn't even eat the chicken yet. Just was kind of pushing off my food the whole day. And then I finally ate chicken pre-workout. Ate that chicken pre-workout and think about it. I cooked that at 8 in the morning and I ate it around 7 at night. And it wasn't refrigerated really because I was on a plane the whole day and traveling, getting a car, grocery shopping. Ate that chicken. Went to the gym. Felt okay. Didn't really notice anything was off until like mid-workout. I was drinking my Intra Shake and I just felt like my stomach, like no matter what liquids I was having, nothing was going through me. Like it was just staying at my stomach and being stuck there. So my stomach kind of felt like backed up. And then we had people come up and talk to us a lot. And it kind of like literally just had to stop working out to the point where we lost our pump and everything like that.
What gym you guys go to? Iron
Religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
they expanded it a shit ton.
Oh, they got bigger?
Oh my gosh, so much bigger. There's like 3 rooms that were not there.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. Because last time I was there too, it definitely got bigger. Because when I was there last time, I was like, Ali said I loved it, and I was like, I don't recall loving this, but now I saw it, and I was like, I like this now. But anyways, we went back home after the workouts. We worked out super late,
Yeah.
like 8 at night. And I wasn't feeling like eating my post-workout meal, my last meal of the day. So I like showered, did everything I could, pushed off eating. I had a protein shake and a scoop of rice. Like I'm talking like a spoonful. Like, I couldn't eat rice. I went to bed. My stomach just like I couldn't lay on my side or my belly. And I just woke up in the middle of the night. And I was like, oh, I got to throw up. So I did. That was awful. Then I drank some water, get rid of like the acid and shit in my mouth. Threw that up. Took a smaller sip, like a baby sip, and threw that up too. So I wasn't holding anything down. And then the whole weekend led to me not eating like 2 meals a day.
So once you threw up, you kind of didn't feel great the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. And I also like not feeling good. I wasn't really trying to eat at that point. I wanted to give my stomach a break. So it was like a sucky feeling because I literally saw that the post of Brandon Curry getting food poisoning that day. And I thought to myself, when was the last time I had food poisoning? 'Cause I don't know if I did ever. And of course I got it that day.
Spoke it into existence.
Thought of it into an existence. I didn't speak it out loud because I thought about that. So, to the universe
then
holder that's reading my mind.
I remember at first you had mentioned, you obviously kept me informed with what was going on, but
Yeah.
you didn't know if it was like a stomach flu or food poisoning. And
Yeah.
then ultimately, I guess, Allie suffered the same issue.
Yep, Allie suffered
I
it.
presume you guys share food, right?
Yeah, she ate the chicken I also cooked that day. That's the only thing we possibly could have shared.
Yeah. Because I'm
We
saying if it was
thought-
a bug, like you were around other people, someone
Yeah.
else would have been, it's very likely that he would have got sick.
Not me, man. I was housing food.
So you were good. So it was probably food you ate, food poisoning, like you mentioned, and yeah, that's how you got it. Could have been how the food was stored that you bought, unfortunately.
Yeah. No clue.
It's not like you cooked 8 raw chicken. If you ate raw chicken, then you know,
Yeah, it was definitely
something off
fully
or
cooked.
overcooked for left cooked.
Yeah.
Getting weird temperatures.
But yeah, Allie got sick too. We both weren't feeling great. Yesterday was almost a full day of eating back on track. Got 5 meals in. Today's gonna be day number 1.
Sorry, I mean you just have to restart, but it's tough. Anytime you throw up, I think it throws a lot of things off. It's violent. The process of throwing up is not the most pleasant.
I really, because when I threw up at nighttime, I felt my stomach
Oh.
go like this and twist, like, flex and twist. And I felt it raise, like go higher up than what it normally is.
Yeah. So I'm sure your esophagus and intestinal lining is all banged up a bit.
How long do you think that takes to recover?
I mean, without any kind of like support, I'm saying like glutamine and anything to like repair mucosal barriers, I would say like probably 7 to 10 days for sure.
Damn.
Depends how much you're throwing up too, but you have to think of people that suffer from eating disorders, unfortunately, that
Oh, I didn't
always
think
throwing
bulimic
up.
people.
They usually don't have the best digestive systems, or they're never really hungry, because that feeling you have, whether you intentionally try to throw up or you throw up because you're sick, it's not pleasant, the after effects, to say
Yeah.
the least, But yeah, I mean, try to see how things go, and as I mentioned, kind of just ease your way back in. Don't I think anytime you throw up, the first thing to do is like, oh, eat the meal again. No, that's not, because that's just gonna jam it back in this hole that it doesn't want to be in.
Yeah.
So it takes time.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But you were good. You were housing food, so
yeah, that was fun. That's how I know, if it was a stomach bug, me and Shannon definitely would have.
and usually most stomach bugs, I mean, at least from my
They're in and
experience
out.
catching them, they run its course, but they're not always throwing up. They're more of coming out the other end.
Yeah.
Grant loves candy.
Yeah, bro.
Was he eating a lot of candy?
Trolleys,
Yeah.
bunch of candy.
That's your candy of choice?
I mean, trolleys. You ever have those Nerds gummy clusters? Those things are gas. But I was still eating
I mean, I don't eat candy either because I'm it's just sugar, so I don't fuck with candy.
yeah,
Grant likes candy, I'll tell you that.
yeah.
But not like chocolate. You're more for sweets.
No, I like chocolate too, dude. I like all food, bro. What are you talking about? I'm literally
Fat ass. Okay.
I'm a void. But I mean,
Huh.
so another positive thing I guess that came from the weekend was I got Anthony back on that Clash of Clans addiction, bro.
I am playing Clash of Clans. We asked Kyle if he played, and he said he never did. I guess you were too old.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that was it a Facebook game or was it?
No, it's a phone
app.
game. It's an app.
Facebook game would be up your alley.
I never played Facebook games either, man. I was studying. I don't have time for that nonsense.
Yeah, he was a.
But
you were
never played.
studious.
I've seen the. I feel like I've seen the ads.
Yes, you probably
For
have.
sure.
Yeah.
Little soldiers with helmets and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Barbarians, yeah.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, no, I've been on Clash of Clans again, thanks to Grant. He got it for the weekend. I saw him play, and I was like, holy shit, I haven't played since middle school.
Bro, so when he re-downloaded the app, I'm like, all right, let's I didn't think he'd be as far in the game as he was. I guess for you, Kyle, for you to understand, if you were to put progress on 0 to 100%, he's already close to 80%, and I'm I had to start from scratch again. So actually, with the new town halls,
So, yeah,
maybe
I think you'll-
60.
Yeah.
You're far.
Farther ahead for sure.
But-
And I got Allie to get it too. So if anyone plays
Kyle, we
Clash
gotta
of
get
Clans,
you to
let
get
us know. Or if you used to play and want to play again, we can make a clan together. It
Yeah.
could be public. So
That'd be great.
let us know.
But I mean, so going along with digestion, and there were a lot of comments because we do read them, and again, we acknowledge we're doing, as you can see this episode, screenshots on the screen everywhere. But with Anthony getting over food poisoning, obviously he's in his last phase of his bulk. This is kind of both for Kyle and for you, Ant. The efficacy and the utilization of GDAs, which are glucose disposal agents, and then digestive enzymes. For you as a coach, for someone who's bulking, would you really prioritize that? Or do you think that's just a blanket on the actual issue, say if they do have digestion issues? And then for Anthony, how have you felt while using them? Do you actually feel a difference, or do you think it's just like that type of thing where it's like, if it'll make you 2% better, you'll do it?
Let me go first because mine is not actual studies. It's just
I
how
want
I
to go
feel.
first.
You want to go first?
No, you go first, Scott. Do your thing.
I would feel like, for me, I noticed when I took a digestive enzyme, it definitely improved digestion, 100%. I would recommend those. GDAs are not something I really feel / can be like the notice and be like, yeah, 100% back it. I mean, I'm sure there are studies on berberine, right? Was that it, Allie? Kyle? That's it? I know there's like scientific studies and stuff, but like I cannot actually feel a GDA work.
Yeah.
But a digestive enzyme, my stomach was messed up a couple months ago. I started taking them, and I started taking a really good one. Stomach got fixed. So from my experience, definitely helps.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it, study man. Scholar.
So I mean, starting with, I feel like digestive enzymes, if I had to rank them in order of importance, digestive enzymes take precedence.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, you asked a few questions, so I'll try to break it down, but they're applicable in both a prep and an off season. Generally, the reason I feel they're of assistance in off season is when you're eating so much food, high volume of food, right? To where this has nothing to do with appetite, but you're just like constantly putting a lot of food in your stomach, 300 grams of rice a meal, things like that. Digestive enzyme, when you're eating that much a copious amount of food, your body's gonna have a hard time breaking it down. It's not capable. So sometimes you aid it, right? That's what a supplement's for, to aid in the performance or the processes that are natural or supposed to happen to begin with. So that's where something like a good digestive enzyme, again, I'm not gonna plug different names because there's different blends out there, but ultimately a good digestive enzyme is it's going to consist of a couple different enzymes that are just going to aid with breaking things down. There are more specific ones that might have like ox bile, which is going to obviously put more bile into your stomach acid, right? It's going to increase that. So you can break down fats maybe. So if you're having a higher fat meal, at times maybe you add something to it. High protein meal, sometimes betaine, HCl, stuff like that you can add in. But I think ultimately in terms of will it mask something, I guess it could be used to mask something. That's where, again, the most important thing is, I guess, anybody that's creating their own diet or going, even if they work with a coach, if they're noticing a trend to where, hey, I'm following the same meals and every day at the same time, I feel like something's off.
Yeah.
You need to kind of look back, and it's not always what you just ate, right? When you had that, thinking back to your food poisoning, it probably wasn't necessarily a pre-workout meal. It was what you put in it maybe 6 hours before that. And it just started to trigger things. And then everything you put on top of it was just like, that was it. It was too much, you know?
Wait, it wasn't the pre-workout meal is what you're saying?
I'm saying when you start to have digestive issues, right? If you're noticing, hey, I feel like constipated, it's typically not exactly what you just ate.
Okay.
And other times it can be in terms of maybe the food poisoning. But what I'm saying was, I don't remember the timing, but I'm just, again, trying to be practical here. If the pre-workout meal was the first time you had the chicken versus, hey, actually I had chicken a meal before that, you know, and it compounded. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So, yeah, you don't want to mask anything. So if you're noticing you're bloating, you're constipated, those are signs that, hey, maybe I don't have enough fiber. Maybe something nutritionally is off. You know all about not having fiber in your diet, depending if you're making choices of foods that, like, you just don't get a lot of fiber. Okay, well, digestive enzyme is not going to fix that. It might temporarily make you feel a little better, but you're still gonna have the same issues, right? So you don't want to use things as masks. That's not the goal. You want to use things to just optimize performance, digestion, stuff like that. Then speaking to GDAs, I would rank them second when comparing the two, just because ultimately they're not always needed, right? A well thought out plan. So if someone is, depending on their body type, right? If they're more of like a mesomorph or something like that, where their metabolism is even high as well, so you're just kind of pounding them with food all the time, they probably return to a normal baseline glucose level anyway. So if their composition's like favorable, you know, respectable 10 to 12% body fat, you don't necessarily need a GDA. Now, for someone that perhaps has poor, their A1C levels are really high over time, right, which is a 90-day moving average of that glucose, or, you know, every single day, let's just say they're taking certain PEDs like growth hormone or something like that, to where your glucose levels are now going to be higher, right, because you have a little bit insulin resistance that builds up when you take growth hormone. That's where some GDAs, they're helpful. And there's a ton out there. I'd say probably 80% of them don't work, right? So the best way to test it, depending on which one you want to use, is having the same meals. Without GDAs, you could test your blood sugar, right? An hour before the meal, 90 minutes post-meal, etc. And then try taking a GDA with that same meal. And if you see the numbers move and they're quicker, so let's just say you wake up in the morning, your glucose is 85, right? In a perfect world, you're back down to 85 before you're putting carbs back in at some point in that day.
Mm-hmm.
You might notice, hey, when I take two servings of this GDA, it only takes a half hour to get me back, versus if I don't take anything, my blood sugar kind of stays high for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Something like that would be the best way to kind of look at it. But again, is it absolutely needed? I wouldn't say no, a GDA is not absolutely needed, but it might add a few percentage points. And if you're someone that's super, this is what you live for, you want to take all the inches you can grab wherever it comes from.
That was so. Those time frames you said, 30 minutes to 90 minutes, is like an actual real example of time?
Well, if you have someone that's like, let's say you have a diabetic, you might know, right? Whether type 1, type 2, whatever.
Jason Paulson.
So when you test blood sugar, generally the rule of thumb, right? You can be really meticulous and check 30 minutes post-meal, 60 minutes post-meal, 90 minutes. But for sake of like argument purposes, I always say like an hour post-meal, check. 2 hours post-meal, check. Or it depends at the frequency in which someone could do it. Nowadays they have you can wear a patch and it just like tells you to your phone, so you don't have to prick your finger. But
now,
a little older, so
now this is a little bit off topic, but it just came into my head. When I was at the Olympia, I spoke to a competitor at one point, and he said when he competed one time, his coach got a pill from Big Ramy, and they used it the night before the show, and it just completely nuked all cortisol in the body.
okay.
Do you know of anything such sort of thing?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. There is something that blocks that, but I don't remember the effects of it. Honestly, I have to bring it up. I remember I have it somewhere.
What is that? Like you own it, or it's in your notes?
I always write things down. I have like a bunch of notes.
Oh, okay. Like coaching
I mean, they can see,
protocols.
like, my notes are like forever.
It goes on forever.
So depending on like what it is, I'll search it and I'm like, there it is. But yeah, a lot of people play like chemical warfare when it comes to prep. Those guys at that top level. It's even me saying like, hey, I think this will work. What are you going to go do? You're going to go do it. You're going to be like, all right, I'm going to try it. And at that top level, if they hear it can make you 5% better, give it to me. Because a lot of them are addicts to a degree. They're addicted to success of how they look. So anything that's going to help them achieve that look, they're willing to do. They don't care the repercussions or what it might do. They just care about that moment on stage, that glory that can come with winning. And that's it.
Gotcha.
It's very unfortunate though, because like, I don't know, see, if you're someone with the tunnel vision, yes, you don't notice it, but from the outside, having that tunnel vision hurts you in the long run, especially because bodybuilding isn't a sustainable sport. Like unless you're winning like open, like that's 400K. If you're winning even when you win classic, like Chris, like he gets a $50,000 paycheck.
That's what it was this year, 50?
Yeah, like bro, like that's not enough, at least in my head. That's not enough money to put your essentially your body on the line, depending on how many drugs you use.
And that's why you'll see a lot of guys. Sorry, I have to give this client.
Yeah. So it's just like
that's why you see guys doing shows after Olympia. So other than to qualify, some of them need money. That's why they're doing this show.
Yeah.
Because you don't make money,
It's crazy. If it came to a point like, I know most competitors don't make their money through competing. It's through sponsorships or whatever it may be. If a competitor is at the point where they have to compete to legit like make money and survive, that's sad.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I mean, at the end of the day, if someone asked you like, hey, like, do you make money from bodybuilding? How do you answer that?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends how much I want to be engaged in that conversation. If I didn't really care, I would say yes. If I wanted to give a detailed answer, I would say, well, not directly because I'm an amateur and I don't really make money from the shows.
It's like, you don't make money from bodybuilding. Fitness, being involved has made you money. But if you decide today, hey, I don't want to do a show again, as long as you still keep posting content on YouTube, Instagram, whatever the hell else you use,
keep building a community,
you'll make your money. It's not directly related to competing. That might have helped you build a platform, but we're looking at the greater 90% of competitors, especially from my generation, aren't influencers or even micro-influencers. They're just people that like to compete. And those individuals, you don't make any damn money competing. It's a waste of money. It's actually the most
waste of
lucrative hobby you could ever have that I can think of.
Because the amount of food, especially if you're into PEDs, the PEDs involved.
Yeah, so I mean, and the reason I said the most lucrative is because you could say, oh, well, this person has an addiction to buying like clothes and cars and stuff. Okay, this is putting your life on the line, your health. All these PEDs, what's the price that you put on your health? I don't know about you guys, but that's like, you couldn't pay me enough to say, hey, 10 years are off your life. Doesn't really make sense, you know?
$1 billion.
I might take that. But it's, you know, at the end of the day, if you can only, hey, you're only living to 65, you see it. But if you take this amount of money, you live to 55. Not many people, because they'll say I can make the money anyway. Exactly. I'll take the 10 years of life.
So then why are we all putting ourselves at risk with even taking PEDs in the first place?
I don't know.
I thought I should ask the question. We're asking the question. We can't.
I think because people are addicted to looking a certain way, and they want to expedite the process. I'm sure if you think right now, if I go to the same gyms I used to train at back in my couple years ago,
Brielle Sports Club,
a Retro, even a Pure Focus, I'll see the same people in there that I know don't ever take any. They maybe take creatine on a good day. They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to me, why would I want to put all this effort in
and look the same
for the same results?
So why not find a different hobby that you love just as much?
I even tell people, I just had a call with someone today, right? He's from Australia, right?
Good eye, Mike.
And he is a younger adult. But basically what I said to him was like, look, we don't know what the ceiling is for your potential, but all I can tell you is if in 5 years you still suck, this ain't for you. Like, you have to see the writing on the wall to where it's like, okay, I'm not going to compete for 15 years to get a pro card. And you see people do that because that's all they care about. I need to turn pro, you know? Mm-hmm. But it does nothing for you. So if that costs, I mean, how many times you see bodybuilders that have no hair by the time they're 25?
Yeah.
That's not normal. I don't care what kind of genetics play a role there. You shouldn't have no hair by 25. That's
at least a little
problem.
bit of fuzz.
Yeah, so like that's an issue. But people, they're just addicted to the results that come with it.
Yeah.
How fast it can happen. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, no one wants to. If I told you, hey, Anthony, it's going to take you 15 years to get to the physique you want, or it might take 5.
Which one you taking?
You might say, okay, I'm going to take the 5.
Yeah.
What do I have to do? That's the world we live in. We want things tomorrow.
That makes sense, bro. Clash of Clans, I already downloaded that game. I bought so many gems.
What the fuck does this mean?
It means I'm buying in-app purchases.
How much money you drop on the game?
Like $30 so far.
Oh, it's not bad. So far.
Bro, I got hit with a $400 late fee in my apartment. I almost threw bricks.
You don't have auto pay on?
No.
I just want to know the thought process. Like, every month, for how long have you lived there?
16 months probably.
Okay, 16 months. All right.
Longer.
Year and a half. You've lived
20.
there. You pay the same rent. It's due on the 6th of the month every month.
Yeah, it is.
Is it like a game to you where you like wake up on the 4th or 5th, you're like, ah, yes, the fucking rent. I didn't pay it yet. Like, sometimes you double up, like, oh, let me get it now. It's the 5th. I'll pay for next month.
You know what? I don't know. Auto pay, I just never set up. So yeah, I guess it's a game.
So certain things like that, right? Even like for a credit card, right? I'm sure you have a credit card. I would at least always have the minimum payment like on auto pay.
I do.
Because it takes one time to mess up. Or like $400 to you might not be a huge deal now.
I was pissed.
I think you should be. I don't know if I would have slept at night, but that's fine, right?
That's a lot of
But
chicken.
your $400 for some people, like that was like, just think that would be like, that's fucked up. Like that's
Bro, you know what? I'm going to the
What did he say?
He was about to say the name.
I'm about to say the name. I'm going to my apartment complex. I'm putting in a complaint. First off, this is what I did. I went up to the front. I was like, can I understand what the hell a late fee of $400 is? And the lady didn't have an answer for me. I was like,
Have you ever been late?
yeah, but it wasn't $400. Want to know why it was $400? Because I got the extra garages. It's 10% of your rent.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, that's a lot of money, bro.
But I guess what I would.
But my previous one was like $100.
That's why I would have leveraged. Like, hey, I've been in good standing,
what-
but you missed
bro.
it before. You're saying.
Yeah, I missed it before.
Yeah.
So I'm going down there soon. Are you ready for my list of complaints, Kyle?
Let's hear it.
All right. First off, I had a receptionist give one of my recent packages that was expensive to another resident. She legit handed my package to another resident. I didn't have it for a couple days. And then she said, oh, your package magically appeared. I
How
asked
do you know someone else had it?
because the person returned it. And she wouldn't fully admit to it, but she said, "Oh, your package reappeared." I said, "How did that happen?" And then she said, "Oh, someone returned it."
No.
I was like, "Thanks." Number
Bruh.
2, I have 2 sliding glass doors for my balcony, right? My second sliding glass door never locked for my whole time I lived there. How? Because they never aligned the lock latch to the thing where it locks into, and that just got fixed like 2 weeks ago. So my safety was at risk here for a year and a half. Someone could have just broke into my apartment without even breaking in.
But you continue to pay every month.
Because, bro, I didn't know about that. I'm sure there's something in this contract or some shit where it ain't matter.
Well, my best advice moving
And then
forward.
one more thing. I pay for the amenity fees. Guess what? I've asked for this fucking elliptical to be fixed in my apartment gym for over a month now. It hasn't been fixed. Why am I paying amenity fees, bro?
I don't know
They
why
can't
you're
fix
paying.
shit.
Because people pay and they don't care.
I care and I'm pissed.
So then go and make a big stink.
I am today. When I
But
after this
just make sure you
podcast,
put
I'll
on
go
auto
straight
pay
there.
after so you don't mess up again.
I'll do that too.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, so auto pay, I get you, man. I've been late before, unfortunately.
It's just stupid, bro.
It is annoying
You
when you see
greedy
it, but then
bastard.
in my head, once I see it once, I'm like, it's just a waste of, like, this is literally a waste. Whether it's even $50, it just bothers me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next. Topic of conversation.
What you got?
Why is he giggling?
Because he's laughing. I don't know. What you got, Kyle?
What are we at right now?
Kyle, okay, Kyle, for 51 minutes.
51.
So, Kyle,
Cool, we got another one.
off camera, typically when I talk to you, I always ask how your clients are doing. My friends / your clients. How are all my friend clients doing?
Most of them suck.
Okay, that's honesty.
No.
Let's hear it.
Which ones?
Just like not
No, this is genuinely on podcast.
okay.
No, I think most of the people I work with, like, it's always a thing this time of year, man. Getting into the holidays, a lot of people just have a hard time, like, being motivated. There's no more shows, typically, right? The shows are all done. There's reasons and excuses to deviate more so. You have, like, holiday parties, whether it be Halloween, Thanksgiving. You got some people that have Friendsgiving.
So they can't miss a meal. Like they'll
How many cookies we gonna eat, Kyle?
No, my question is, so these people, they think like, oh, holidays are on the corner. I'm going to dick off now instead of like being 90% on the plan and missing the one meal for that holiday due reason.
I think it's just hard. So, like, I guess even for me, I consider myself an extremist. So, like, when I'm in it, man, like, I don't deviate at all. Like, I just follow. And then, but I always would struggle a little bit around the holidays because let's just say you're with a significant other, or when I worked in the office, you'd have like a holiday party, and it's just like usually like someone really nice. Like, you're not going to bring a meal there, so it's like, all right, I got to kind of participate. Might as well have this. It's here.
Yeah.
Then you have maybe your significant other's holiday, your holiday with your family. So that's now 3. And sometimes, honestly, I don't know about you, but like when I have my one free meal a week, I want it to be what I want. Mm-hmm. So when
like an
it's forced
extra
to be
one?
turkey, not really a fan. I want my own meal still, So that goes all the way through Christmas, right? Because then you have Christmas parties. At least when I was in the office, like I mentioned, we would have a Christmas party for work.
New Year's party?
New Year's. So like it's a lot of weeks in a row to where it's not your normal routine. Your normal isn't having these events to cater to people, have friends over, things like that. So
how's James doing? I see on a Snapchat story he's having a mass gainer shake, which I don't think we've ever prescribed
James,
someone.
At this point, right? So I had a conversation with him this week, actually. He has aspirations to compete next year. He's aware. I think he has about 20 pounds to grow before he hits his cap for a classic. Obviously, if he shows up in the 180s for a pro show, I don't really see him doing phenomenal because he's just going to be undersized.
That's right.
So with that said, James' biggest struggle, as a lot of people are, is just kind of getting enough food in on a consistent basis. And I know you have people on the other spectrum like you or me to where I could eat. I can always eat. But then there's people on the other spectrum to where we are so, like, it's easy for us.
Yeah.
It's really hard. They're just never hungry,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like, okay, it's hard sometimes. Like, do I think cardio? That's why I institute cardio, and I implement that in for a lot of people. And they'll hear that and be like, I'm already lean. I don't need cardio.
It's
And
not
it's just
meant
like,
for
hey,
that, though.
something about cardio, getting movement in the body to start your day, especially sometimes, or just getting your heart rate up, just triggers a lot of different responses. Hunger levels are triggered. So kind of getting someone to see that, implement that into their daily regimen, and then to follow the diet is not always the easiest. So in his case, you know, he's just trying to make sure he gets a certain caloric intake in. He's not trying to do a macro approach. He has a meal plan. But for him, he's like, hey, I can't eat. You have 270 grams of rice. Like, I'm not really that hungry. Like, it's hard for me to eat that sometimes.
What?
Yeah, I know you like rice, so you can eat it. But that's
Dude,
a
I've
lot.
been eating-
That is a lot of rice for some people.
I've been eating 360 a meal.
It
Bruh.
adds up over time, though. You know?
4 times a day, 360.
It's a lot of rice.
Fucking love it. I just switched to potatoes, though.
Yeah, but for some people, like I said, you get tired of it. So let's factor in the fact that, okay, you can get it in. At some point, I don't want to do this. I don't enjoy the food. If
Yeah.
you don't enjoy the food, you start to find it boring. To me, hey, that's bodybuilding in a nutshell. Bodybuilding is super boring. You have people now that try to like reinvent the wheel, new trending styles, new diet fads,
Thank you, TikTok.
cookbook items. That all doesn't get you to your real goal. It works. But in terms of if you're trying to be an extremist and be really good, you need to be really dedicated. You can't have an off switch because every day that goes by and you're like 50-50, you're not really getting closer to your goals.
Yeah.
Right? That's why in prep, again, I use this example all the time, but whether your prep's 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12, 16, 20, usually people are like, hey, I never cheated.
Yeah.
A person that's
Yeah.
a really good client is
Yep.
not going to fuck up, right?
Yeah.
But then you go into an off season or a more lackadaisical phase, and they're just like, I'll eat it. I'll deviate. And it's just like, how did you go perfect for so long? You're so perfect. And now it's just like a switch in their head to where people always need that next goal.
Yeah.
So that's why like I really try to like focus on like quarterly goals. So like they're slightly unattainable, but they're like within reach if you're on your A game. And I think that's the only way to keep people motivated in like our society now, because telling you, hey, Grant, like you have a show in 60 weeks.
I'm gonna be like, okay.
It's kind of like, all right, like I'll kind of take it serious, but it's 60 weeks away. So it's depending on how you look at it. You know,
Yeah.
you want to be on point, but you also need to realize, I think if you just go all in bodybuilding, the holidays coming up, I used to be that person. I'm just going to have maybe one meal, if that. I'll pack my food. And then I realized, like, this doesn't make me any better. It actually creates more stress because now I got to fight with people about why I'm bringing food, not eating. If you have a show 52 weeks away, participate in the holidays. Don't be a fucking weirdo. And bring Tupperware to
So
dinner.
how long did that take you to like get to that point? Was it more towards the back end of competing?
Yeah, it took me to the. I'm just beginning competing, okay, bro. But yeah,
I thought about this.
a couple years for sure.
To what you just said, you said fighting with people, right, creates stress, and then it becomes like diminishing returns of bringing your meal.
Yeah,
I've always like when I heard that before, it's like, can you give me a scale? I don't know how to word this properly. It's in my head.
what do you mean scale? Like a food scale? You're saying
All right, so like, you basically said bringing that meal, and then due to maybe 2-3 conversations with family members and defending yourself creates enough stress in your body to where it's diminishing returns of packing your own meal.
so. It's not. It's diminishing in the sense of other aspects of your life.
Uh-huh.
If you're just focused on bodybuilding, that's all you give a shit about. Cool. To me, you're a loser. At some point, you're gonna realize, like, hey, I have no friends, I have no family, I have no money. I fucked up. I gotta do something
Okay.
else. So I think just leveling up. So when I say diminishing returns, sure.
In life in general, I thought you were
In
talking
life.
about like muscle growth bodybuilding,
No, I don't think
like
it's gonna- unless you're
like
getting in a serious
cortisol.
fight with somebody.
Cortisol spiked so much because I brought my own meal that this turkey and ham would have been way better. Okay, I got
Oh,
you.
so sorry if I
So
worded it
in
that way.
overall life, I was just thinking of like gains.
No, I just think because sometimes you're at a family event. At least I speak to my own personal experience, or even at work, people are just. I get tired of hearing the question. I brought my food because I fucking want to. Like, stop asking. But people don't. People look at you like you're kind of a weirdo. Like, what are you doing? Like, we're at
Yeah.
this nice place. Why do you have
What do you-
Tupperware of
yeah.
like
Chicken and
fish and rice? Like,
Ew.
what is this?
Chicken
So-
and asparagus, fish and asparagus.
Exactly.
I mentioned this yesterday to you, and I thought I'd let the viewers know this. I had shrimp for the first time in a
You had
long
shrimp?
time. I had shrimp. Super easy. I actually fucking burned myself.
Where?
You want to see? It's right here. I promise you.
What the?
Wait, how do you burn your
Can you see
fucking
that?
asshole?
Whoa! What the?
Can you see that?
Yeah, how'd you do
How?
So I cooked the shrimp. I boiled it, and I had the strainer in the sink.
Yeah.
I poured it, and then I must have poured it too slow, so the water trickled down the pot.
shit.
And I poured it all out. Dude, I dropped it. I stripped naked. I didn't put ice on it. It would have made a blister. It didn't hurt that bad.
Does it hurt now?
Yeah. But anyways,
Did you blame Allie?
Not. No.
Not even a thought in your head.
No. She had nothing to do with it. Of course I did. But no, the shrimp was really easy. It's from
But it was
Sam's.
easy for you to eat.
Yeah, bro. It was from Sam's Club, frozen. All you had to do was thaw it out, boil it for like 3 minutes, strain it. Oh my god, I just used salt.
Right.
Cool.
The shrimp was
There's
great.
different ways to still adhere to. At least, again, I always think providing someone with something that they can follow. It might not be, exactly what you would think someone's eating, but it doesn't make you feel so restricted. So whether you want to use turkey, chicken, shrimp, it's all going to yield the same results as long as digestively you're not.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
So,
having
like,
issues.
for the shrimp,
Is that the blister from?
That's Dave. Dave also got a burn thing last week.
Ow.
He had, a French press, like coffee French press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He mentioned to me sometimes it's hard to go down, and he's always shirtless. And he did it, and it was
It
stuck.
shot out.
And yeah, it exploded when everywhere. He said it was the worst pain he ever felt. He went to the emergency room and everything like that.
Hey, go to the emergency room.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Did they cut his belly button out?
Nope. Isn't he
is
such an
it?
interesting person?
Is that a teeth whitener?
No, it's a high tech toothbrush. He told me it does it for you.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Seriously?
swear.
Where'd he get it?
I don't know.
Can you ask?
You're lazy.
That sounds cool. I could do a lot. I could be like fucking.
Well, it takes you 2 minutes to brush your teeth.
Nah, that's easier. It looks cooler.
I'll have to ask for you.
Interesting. It's probably like $1,000.
Yeah, literally.
60-day warranty. No, it's good though. But
Wait, so for your shrimp, do you like how much shrimp would you have to eat to equate to?
It's lean protein, so it's the same amount of grams, right, Kyle?
it's really close, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I cooked the bag and I put it in the fridge, and I literally I'll eat it cold. Tastes
Yeah.
fine.
That's
For
not
like leaner white fish, you need to eat technically a little bit more fish, but
tilapia.
yeah.
Bro, I hate fish. That's like the
Very
only-
rarely do I like. Again, the old school method was like inside 4 weeks, like all fish. Like at some point, it's just like, all right, like what's getting the job done so effectively? You're not losing your mind. Some people I make do fish because like I need to get every
variable in check.
1 gram of fat I could save from this person.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a funny photo for you at the Olympia. I just recalled this. I had 2 people also sit in front of me, Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto.
Okay.
And I was gonna go ask them for a selfie and just send you it, taking a photo with
But
the
you didn't do
coaches.
that.
I didn't do it. No,
Why did you get a picture of Greg?
I did.
Yeah.
I got a photo with Greg. Spoke to Greg. I spoke to Johnny Shreves. Met him first time.
How was that?
Cool. It was good.
He's very nice.
Yeah, he's nice.
Greg was very nice as well.
Greg was nice too. I didn't know about there was drama between him and Johnny, which
Oh, really?
suppose like I looked it up because I was confused. I saw Greg there with a girl that wasn't who I saw in his old YouTube videos, and I was like, does this man just have a young 20-year-old blonde girl? I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, him and his old girlfriend Allison broke up.
I thought Greg's not married.
No, he wasn't ever married. They broke up, and he had a young blonde girl. I was like, damn, Greg.
Greg's got Riz.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought Greg was married for some reason.
No. I'm trying to think who else I met, man. We can wrap it up on there. Oh, this is really cool. We saw. Why can't I think of his name? Brian Shaw, right? Strongest man in the world.
Yeah.
It looked like his son because it's not his son. After I looked it up, because it was his like videographer or someone. They were walking to like use the bathroom, and his like videographer guy noticed me and like said like I couldn't really hear him, but I saw him mouth the words like "Yo, what's up, man?" Like shook his hand, whatever like that. But the videographer itself, I thought it was his son because the kid was also a younger kid, like 17, 18, maybe in the 20s, but like a freak of height and width. Like he looked like a miniature Brian Shaw. Yeah, like an offspring. I was
He's
like,
young though.
the kid, yeah, the kid was younger.
Oh wow.
Envious.
Probably someone aspires to be like Brian.
Yeah.
He's always around Brian. He obviously has probably some kind of skill set.
Eats 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah, that's cool. That's crazy.
But
That is awesome. Oh, one thing we didn't mention, Jeremy Buendia with Olympia.
That was disappointing.
I don't think he should have placed as high as he did.
No,
Man.
I think that was a gift for sure.
I think they were doing it just to show / compare him to the top guys now, and obviously have like a Mr. Olympia guy and like just I don't know have him up there. But dude, I saw guys like the second, third call out that looked.
Yeah, and again,
Insane.
that's the political factor of like a guy that. How many times does a guy that has an extended invite forever show up and get smacked?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't. What did Kevin Levrone get the one time? Did a show recently?
Oh, I remember that. Actually, I saw that as the Arnold Classic.
I don't know what he placed. I totally forget.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Usually they give you like, again, his was like a big layoff. I don't know the exact year, so I don't want to speak it wrong. But I think Jeremy was 5 years. Again, when I say he looked awful, it's not awful in relation to
You know what?
a normal person. Like he looks phenomenal, right? All
Yeah.
those guys look great. But compared to how he looked in the past, I prefer his previous look.
Yeah, I
think-
just don't think he came in as tight as he used to. Like his abs looked a little softer.
Yeah, I think he tried to
His
play the
back.
size game a little bit, perhaps,
for
and
sure.
stay kind of full. Again,
okay,
again, when
not
I speak awful and I say, "Hey, this person," similar to when I call someone fat.
It was great. Like to get
I just don't want.
to the
if Jeremy's watching this, I don't want to be like, bro, I'm not awful. You're not. You know
No.
that. It just wasn't like
Your
he's
physique
trash. That's
Okay,
mean, Kyle.
that's
trash.
Now he's coming after
Jeremy,
you.
That's great.
You looked for the comeback. You still look great. I'm just saying, his from the back, the last year he won, comparing it to there. Granted, he had to come over back
For sure, yeah.
because there was like one major back injury.
No, I mean, dude, you take 5 years off. I can only imagine. That's why I said again. I prefaced it. He still looked great
Yeah.
compared to like anyone else. Do I think he deserved the placing he got?
Listen,
I don't think anyone would agree that he deserved that placing, but it doesn't matter, right? He showed up on stage. I don't think it was the best version of him, but compared to the last 5 years of his life, I think he showed me a transformation. He wasn't even close to what he looked like, so he obviously came a long way, and if he continues at it, now he just has to beat that package.
To conclude with Jeremy, when I was younger and he was the standard for men's physique, I understood it and I stood behind it because I was like, yeah, he had a different look than everyone else. But as men's physique progressed, they set a new standard with like Brandon Hendrickson, right? Aaron Banks, Ryan Terry now too. They all have lats and they all show their lats in their front pose. Jeremy is literally a small waist with wide shoulders with like there's no lats you can see from
Because
the front.
back when he competed, though, it was a different like.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
it was
they
totally different.
changed,
So
they
it's not really fair.
evolved.
He's bringing what he
Used
won
to bring,
with.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I stand behind the new look now.
Yeah.
But anyways, with the Kevin Levrone thing in 2018, he placed 13th out of a field of 14, so second to last. Because this was him competing like a lot of years after he competed.
How many?
Let me look it up.
He was pretty old. You know, he was
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes time. I'd be interested. I think Jeremy was going to try. I don't think he's done.
No shot.
So you don't think he'll try again?
No shot that he's done.
Oh no. So I think he's going to come back.
I think he's going to try to come back with the improvements.
with the genetics he has, he should probably be able to do pretty well because he was trying to transition to classic at one point for a long time ago.
I
He's
honestly
got
think.
decent legs compared to all those other men's physique guys. You know.
I honestly
15
think-
years.
Wow.
Kevin
Yeah,
Levrone.
so that was more of like a hey, hi.
Yeah.
Remember me?
And yes, Jeremy has amazing legs. They were busted through
honestly
the
think-
shorts.
Yeah.
I also think he might transition potentially next year.
That'd be cool. Like I said, I'd be impressed to see that. I always think it's cool to see people
But like,
try
bro,
different
you're
things.
going up against Chris then.
Yeah.
Like it's an uphill battle.
I say he got top 10. So I mean, if he can get top 10 again
I mean, at the
and
end of the
improve
day,
his
too,
look,
it's
that's
like,
awesome. Like congrats. You know.
some of these guys I do want to let's say Jeremy does go to classic physique, right? Doesn't mean he wants to be Mr. Olympia. I'm sure like everyone's sure in the back of their head, but like realistically, it's like let me improve myself, step in this new vision, see how I look, have some fun with it, bodybuild, show my legs, and like that be it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already won men's physique. Mr. Olympia's like he just want to have fun at this
reason
point.
to compete, right?
No.
Like he doesn't need to compete.
He's already proved his.
But that's where again people get into competing for different reasons. Some people getting into,
Exactly.
get into competing to make money, going the wrong direction. I think he's getting back into it
For fun.
because he's in a better, from my understanding,
Yeah,
he's in
a
a better
better
spot in his life.
and wanted to prove himself.
Exactly.
Yes.
So hopefully he takes that, becomes even a better competitor or a better person. He's got a family and stuff now, right? So
Yep.
seems like he's leveled up, like I said.
Which I
is important
saw
in
his
life.
family too in the crowd. They were kind of close to me.
Yeah.
They're big supportive. It was awesome. It was cool. It was cool to
it's
see.
Cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sport has changed a lot. So
We wrapping it up here.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Kyle, give the outro. I always outro it. Let's see it.
all right. Well, as always, guys, we appreciate you watching the comments. We all do read them, and as we mentioned, and hopefully by this point in the podcast, you have seen that we have listened to the most recent commentary and show you what we see on our phones. So as always, anything you guys like to hear, just comment below. We will all take a look and try to make this the best podcast that we possibly can. We also have Black Friday coming up soon, so Young LA. We didn't speak on that, so we will have to next time. But Young LA's huge Black Friday sale going live. What's 2 Fridays from now?
November 21st.
Or when this is live, it'll be November 21st. So whether that's 10 days or whatnot, you can all support all of us. My code is SIR. We have code GRANT and code ANT. You'll save 30% on all of the items, the biggest sale of the year. So as always, guys, stay tuned for the next one. We appreciate it.